In this short video, I'm addressing the physiological reasons as to how stress and trauma cause fat gain. The first thing is that stress and trauma alter cortisol levels, and whether or not you can burn fat is all dependent on cortisol levels. At normal physiological levels, cortisol helps you burn fat, but if you have too much cortisol, it elevates blood sugar, which brings in insulin, whose job it is to take sugar out of the blood and put it into the fat cells, and you can't be depositing fat while you are trying to burn fat. So elevated cortisol will switch off your fat burning. But if you have really low cortisol, then you won't be able to burn fat either. So how do you get either of those two things? Well, if you're under chronic stress and your adrenal glands are healthy, you will have chronically elevated cortisol and you won't be able to burn your body fat. You'll often see businessmen who seem to be fit and healthy and coping with the stress okay, but they've got a big pot belly. And most of that is due to the fact that they constantly crave food because they cannot burn their own body fat because their cortisol is elevated. If you've been under stress for long enough, or the stress has been severe enough, such as leading to severe post-traumatic stress disorder, then your adrenal glands can collapse and then you have really low cortisol. Now, there are strategies for lowering elevated cortisol and raising lowered cortisol. If you want to lower elevated cortisol, aside from the nutritional information given in the handout, which is directly below this video, then Withania somnifera, a herb, is renowned for being able to lower elevated cortisol. If you're in the exhaustion phase and you need to raise your cortisol levels, the herb is Romania glutinosa. The second issue with respect to how stress and trauma prevent you from burning your own body fat is to do with something in your brain called the amygdala. There are actually two little patches in your brain. They are shaped like an almond, and that's why they're called the amygdala. That's the Latin for almond. And that's your smoke detector for danger. It tells you if something is dangerous or not. But if you've been through really severe stress or chronic stress, that smoke detector, the amygdala, can be reset. If that's reset, you see danger where there is no danger. And if that's the case, you will be driving your adrenal glands to produce extra cortisol, and ultimately you will drive them to the point where you collapse. So you need to find a way to reset the amygdala if you're going to be successful. And the document that's provided for you below this video, download it and read it thoroughly. It has all the strategies that you need in order to cope with that.